They say curiosity can kill, not just cats, but people too. For Ethan, it wasn't just curiosity, it was hunger. A gnawing need for something darker, something more. He was 24, a quiet guy with a dead-end job stocking shelves, living alone in a cramped apartment. By day, he was invisible. By night, he fed his obsession: gore videos, snuff films, accident clips, war footage, anything that pushed the boundaries of what a person could stomach. It wasn't about joy, it was about feeling something. But one night, that hunger led him somewhere he could never come back from. Ethan slouched in his desk chair, the glow of his monitor painting his face blue. His usual sights, shady forums, obscure video hosts, weren't cutting it anymore. The clips felt staged, repetitive, fake blood, bad acting. He needed real. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart thudding as he typed dark web access into a search bar. A few sketchy downloads later, he was in. The deep web was a maze of cryptic links and broken pages, but Ethan knew what he was looking for. He clicked through folders labeled with strings of numbers, each one darker than the last. Then he found it. A live stream titled Room 17. No thumbnail, just a black square and a red Enter button. He clicked. The screen flickered and a grainy feed loaded. A concrete room, lit by a single flickering bulb. A figure was strapped to a chair, head lolling, duct tape over their mouth. Tools, saws, pliers, a blowtorch were neatly arranged on a metal table. Ethan's stomach twisted, but he didn't look away. Two masked figures entered, their movements deliberate, almost ritualistic. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. The figure in the chair thrashed as the first tool was picked up, a scalpel. Ethan's breath caught. This wasn't fake. This was a red room, a real one. He watched for 10 minutes, maybe more, his pulse racing. The chat window beside the stream was silent, no usernames, no comments, just him and the horror. Then, a ping. A private message popped up in a black box. "I know what you're watching, Ethan." His name. His real name. Ethan froze, his fingers slamming the power button on his PC. The screen went black, but the room felt alive, like the shadows were breathing. He yanked the curtains shut, checked the locks on his door, and sat in the dark, heart hammering. It was a prank. Had to be. Malware, maybe. He didn't sleep that night. Morning came, gray and heavy. Ethan dragged himself to work. The message burned into his mind. "I know what you're watching, Ethan." He tried to laugh it off. Just some hacker messing with him. He'd been careless, left digital footprints. But as he stacked cans in the supermarket, he felt eyes on him. A man in a gray hoodie lingered at the end of the aisle, face obscured. When Ethan looked again, he was gone. That night, he didn't touch his computer. He watched TV, volume low, jumping at every creak in the building. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You can't unsee it. He blocked the number, hands shaking. Another text came through from a different number. "We're watching." Ethan turned off his phone and buried it in a drawer. He told himself it was nothing. He was freaking out over a coincidence, but the feeling of being watched clung to him like damp fog. Days passed, and Ethan's life unraveled. He stopped going online, ditched his routines, but the messages kept coming. Emails, texts, even handwritten notes slipped under his door. Always the same. "We see you. You're part of it now." He started noticing people. The gray hoodie guy again, standing across the street. A woman with a scarf over her face, staring from a bus stop. They never approached, but they were always there, just out of reach, like ghosts in a Silent Hill nightmare. One night, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He grabbed a backpack, stuffed it with clothes, and decided to leave. He'd crash with a cousin in another state, disappear for a while. As he stepped onto the street, a figure emerged from an alley, gray hoodie, face hidden, walking fast. Ethan bolted, his sneakers slapping wet pavement. The city felt warped, like a maze closing in. Streetlights flickered, casting long, claw-like shadows. Ethan ducked into an abandoned warehouse district, the kind of place where rusted machinery loomed like monsters in the dark. His breath was loud, too loud, echoing off crumbling walls. Footsteps followed, not rushed, but steady, deliberate. He crouched behind a stack of crates, heart pounding so hard he thought it had burst. The air was thick, sour with rust and decay. A faint hum, like distant machinery, vibrated through the ground, setting his teeth on edge. The footsteps stopped. Silence, heavy and suffocating. Then, a low chuckle. Close. Too close. Ethan's eyes darted to a rusted pipe on the ground. He grabbed it, gripping it like a lifeline. A shadow moved, long and thin, stretching across the wall. Ethan ran again, weaving through narrow corridors of broken concrete and exposed rebar. Glass crunched underfoot. He slipped into a side room, slamming the door and shoving a desk against it. The room was small, a dead end, with one grimy window high on the wall. He climbed, fingers scraping at the sill, but the window wouldn't budge. Outside, the footsteps circled. A voice, low and distorted, whispered through the door. "You watched. You chose this." Ethan stifled a sob, pressing himself against the wall. The door rattled, once, twice, then silence. He waited, minutes stretching into eternity, until he was sure they were gone. He didn't feel safe. He never would again. Ethan didn't go to his cousins. He didn't trust anyone. He became a ghost, drifting from city to city, staying in cheap motels or sleeping in bus stations. He ditched his phone, his ID, anything that could be traced. But the watchers followed. A glance in a diner window, a figure in the crowd, a note left on a park bench. "You can't run forever." He stopped sleeping, his reflection in mirrors showing a hollowed-out stranger. His dreams were worse, flashes of Room 17, the scalpel glinting, the victim's muffled screams. Sometimes, the victim had his face. He started to wonder if it was real. Maybe he'd snapped, his mind conjuring stalkers from guilt and paranoia. The red room had stained him, like a curse. He'd wanted to see the worst of humanity, and now it wouldn't let him go. But the notes, the figures, they were too consistent, too precise. If it was madness, it was cruelly organized. Ethan's voice trembles as he narrates from a cabin deep in the woods, the only place he's felt safe for more than a night. He's gaunt, bearded, his eyes darting to the windows. The cabin is bare, lit by a single lantern. He speaks to an imagined audience, maybe to himself. "I don't know what's worse. If they're real, I'll never escape. If they're not, I've lost my mind. Either way, I'm trapped. I watched something I shouldn't have, and it's part of me now. I see that room every time I close my eyes. I hear their voices in the silence. I don't know if I'm crazy or cursed, but I won't risk finding out." A creak outside. Ethan freezes, grabbing a knife from the table. The lantern flickers, casting jagged shadows. He whispers, barely audible.
They are here. You chose this.
Some doors, once opened, can't be closed. Some things, once seen, can't be unseen. Be careful what you search for. You might find it, and it might find you.